All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a short and sweet guide to the Grandmasters that are coming out this Tuesday at Reset. All right, I'm going to give you the builds that I'm going to use, the team synergy, the best, strongest weapons, the meta, all of that jazz, right? So here we go. Let's first go inspect my character. First thing you're going to have to be is 1345. So you're going to want to be 30 gear score, ideally plus 15 on the artifact, or I highly recommend people to be, 1329 gear score with a few 1330 weapons, and then plus 16 on the artifact. That'll make it easier for infusing things up so that way you don't have to have everything infused exactly 1330, but most of you are probably there by now. If you're not, then you're not going to be able to do Grandmasters on day one. You have to do a little bit of grinding, beat those seasonal challenges. Those will get you a ton of XP and level up your artifact really fast, and obviously get your gear score up by doing pinnacle activities. You want to get 1330 drops. That's the goal. That's the game plan. Once you get 1330 drops, you'll be getting pretty close to be able to run some GMs. Very, very tough activities. Should be like the toughest activity in the game. So the strongest build, I think, this season is going to be rocking, again, this blinding grenade launcher is really good. But most importantly, what you're kind of building everything on the cornerstone is this Vex mythic class. So good. Really good at debuffing enemies because you're going to have on particle deconstruction. Along with that, you have, it also turns into a linear fusion. Just such good ad clear, such good overall damage output. With 3 of these on your team, you can melt champions. It's just so good. And you can even, stop champions with unstoppable fusion rifles. So pretty much like the cornerstone to most builds this season are going to be to start with the Vex and then build around it what you want. There are a few other weapon options that I'll go over in this in case you don't have Vex, because not everyone has the good RNG and gets it, or maybe you're new to the game. And it's still definitely possible to do Grandmasters if you don't have the Vex. But pairing with this Vex, the strongest would for sure be this blinding grenade launcher ignition code. Slide shot, blinding grenades are always going to be super good. Blind a pile of ads. If ads don't shoot you, you don't die nearly as much, which is a big problem in GMs. And then to pair with that, you've got Reed's Regret. You've got the Threaded Needle. You can rock really any linear fusion legendary that's really good. And those are going to pair together really well with Elemental Deconstruction. A few other weapons I'll go over is that Agriceptor is very good as well. Wither Horde, Last Breath can get some really good rolls for, odd rifle champion mods. Fatebringer is good to pair with, whatever, energy weapon you're using. Maybe you're rocking a divinity. In the energy slot, Ariana's Vow is going to be huge for barriers this season because odd rifles in Grandmasters are not going to feel very fast and efficient at taking down those champions. You have to be like really ready for it. And if you're shooting at range with auto rifle, you're going to have a frustrating time taking them down unless you put multiple auto rifles on. But if you put multiple auto rifles on, then you have to rock an auto rifle and a Vex, and then you're rocking double primaries. It's just not nearly as efficient, right? So I tend to just put on one person with Ariana's Vow and then 2 people with Vex would be a really strong build, or one person with Divinity and 2 people with Vex will be really strong. And so you got to decide who has to be the Div and the Ariana person while the other 2 use Vex. But for team synergy, that will be really, really good this season. I think you'll see the majority of people doing that. The Cartesian coordinate is always a great option. If you don't have that Vorpal roll, you can just use a No Composure with high impact. Very good. The Arsenic Bite with Explosive Head is very, very good for champions this season because you have those overloads to take care of. So if you don't want to go the Divinity route, you can rock that as well. Lawrence Driver is a great option. Sorrow's Verse. Any auto rifle that has good ad clears is going to be awesome for, like if this has 1 for all in it, you could use something that has overflow, whatever it may be. And then a blinding GL in this slot can also be really effective if you want to rock like a blinding GL and something like the Last Breath, and then 1000 Voices. This is also still a really, really strong build. Don't think that this is any less of a build if you don't have Vex. I know a lot of people probably don't have Vex and like, damn it, frustrating. So don't be too frustrated by that. You can definitely have a strong build and definitely beat these GMs. The Ascendancy and these other explosive light rockets are really good, like the Hothead. They just got recently buffed to 25% damage increase, so you can definitely rock those if you want. I don't feel like you're doing anything wrong by using those. They're very good now. The majority of people will just be rocking linear fusions though, because it just pairs really well with particle deconstruction and with the unstoppable mod. So stop champions and debuff them and just melt them. You'll shoot them with the Vex to get that ×5. Swap to the Threaded Needle and just delete people. 1000 Voices, really strong option as well. Sleeper's a decent option. Anarchy's never a bad option just because it's, just sustain damage while you do other things. So Anarchy is definitely a good option. Those are going to be the overall weapons, but I think this is going to be the strongest build in the game in general. You want the majority of people using this on your team. I do have a solar subclass on because I'm going to go over the mods here on the right, and it's actually quite important. This is like the sort of like sub meta game in how you play Destiny now, which is the mods you put in this last slot are becoming more and more important, and the diversity and the amount of crazy things you can do is really cool in the game right now. So Well of Potency is an artifact mod. If you pick up a matching elemental well, it'll grant you super energy. And so I have my other teammates also having solar subclasses like Well of Radiance on a Warlock. Would be my other teammate, or maybe both of my other teammates. And along with that, we're gonna have I'm gonna have Protective Light on, so I can get Charged with Light. And when I get Charged with Light, I'll have a little bit more survivability. So I have a Fusion for Fusion Rifle Loader and Unstoppable Fusion, but I can change that based on if I need to get different shape mods. And this as well is really important. You know, change it to Solar Arc Void. Concussive Dampener will be really common, but Font of Might is going to be a big one. This increased damage boost is going to feel really nice, and this will all pair really well with we'll have Elemental Armaments, which is weapon takedowns with a damage type that matches your subclass. Element have an escalating chance to spawn an Elemental Well. So basically, I'm Solar, I'm using a Vex, and because of Elemental Armaments, Elemental Wells are going to drop on the ground. By picking those up, I will get Well of Potency here, which is I'll get more super energy, more Golden Gun energy. And even though Golden Gun isn't that strong, it's might as well just get some free Golden Gun energy. And then along with that, I'll also get Charged with Light, because I'll have Elemental Charge here, which has become Charged with Light by picking up an Elemental Well, and I get 2 stacks for that. So the 2 stacks of Charged with Light will pair nicely with Protective Light, and then Elemental Armaments pairs well with Vex, and then I just have to rock a Golden Gun. Wish I could rock a better class than that, but that'll will work well for me. And then Font of Might for that damage boost. And then I'm just rocking Aeons because this drops lots of special and power ammo. So that is going to be my suggestion for the hunters out there. You could definitely rock Stasis. You can definitely rock Tether. You can do a variety of different things. You don't have to base everything around these Elemental Well stuff. That's just like the new thing to do, and it's a lot of fun to spec your characters out for that. This would be my friend Dwayne, who's going to rock a Dawnblade, rock the Well. He's got a very similar build, but he's got Corsair's Wrath instead. The Solar Elemental Wells to be made. And then he's got the Stag on. He's got Elemental Armaments, Double Dynamo. He's going to rock Elemental Time Dilation, which is going to increase the time because he's going to have multiple stacks of Font of Light, or Font of Might rather. He's got Font of Might there, and then he's got Font of Might there. And then that way he can get an even longer increased timer, so he can just melt through ads. And we ran a bunch of Masters today with these builds, and these builds are just super, super strong. Tried using a few other different weapons and mixing things up, and nothing was nearly as potent as this build right here. So you could mix things up with your subclass. You could use a different subclass. I don't think it's not nearly as important, but I do think that like the hard meta and what you're going to see like LFG people like demanding to be used, and what you're going to want to use if you want to just get a quick, clear, easy Grandmaster run is a Vex Mythoclast, Particle Deconstruction, you know, the Unstoppable mods, and a Linear Fusion, and probably a Blinding Gel or a Sniper or whatever if you don't have the Blinding Gel. That's going to be like the fundamental, like how to build your subclass for Grandmasters. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below, or come to the live stream and ask away. The time I'm recording this, it's Sunday, so I still got another day. And if I change anything, I'll let you know, but I do think that this will be a really, really strong build. For day 1, we'll be using 2 Vexes, and then we'll have the third person using Divinity, because day 1 is going to be Unstoppable and Overload on the very first strike. And so that's what we're going to focus on for that. And as soon as I beat that, I'll upload that video so you can see how we did it, the strats we used, etc., etc. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Later.